What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Heavy Hitters. I am your host, Mr. Michael Grady. Yes, y'all, I'm back. I'm here. Yes, I took a little break, man. I had to. I needed to get that motivational back, man. But I'm here, you guys. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to give you guys my opinion on the show for Heavy Hitters. So if you missed me, I'm glad that you did. But now I'm back, so you don't have to miss me. I'm going to continue doing what I do every Wednesday for you guys at 7 p.m. on Heavy Hitters. So without further ado, I just wanted to talk about the little illustration that I did earlier. Over the weekend, I had a classmate of mine pass away by the name of Travis Grady. Yes, he was a close friend of mine. He passed away on November 21st. We just had his funeral Sunday. It was a difficult time. It was a difficult time. Not only did we not lose Travis, but we lost his mother as well. And it was unfortunate that we lost both of their precious lives. So to the family, to the Grady family, Grady strong all day, every day. I wanted to send my biggest condolences and sympathies to you guys. And for that being said, I'm gonna dedicate this show to not only Travis, but it's to his mom, Miss Cardell, as well. So I hope you guys sleep well in your peaceful journey. Travis, we love you. Miss Cardell, we love you too. This show is definitely for you guys. So without further ado, I got to give my fans, and I also got to give my late friend Travis and his mom they just do. So without further ado, like I said, guys, I've been out and about. You know what I'm saying? I've been out. I just, had to get my mind straight, been clearing my head. I had a lot of things going on at a particular time. And but now I'm back. I'm ready. I feel like I'm energetic. I feel like I got to get back what I was doing the best. And that was just giving my truthful opinion on what I think about every topic that I come on you guys with Heavy Hitters. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to give you guys the same information I've been giving you. I'm glad. I appreciate all the support from people that have been watching the show from previous shows. But now it's time for me to go to work. So I'm going to go to work. But rest in peace to you, Travis. I love you. Miss Carter, I love you too. Be safe in your peaceful journey. So today's topic, man, I want to talk about revenge. And the only reason why I want to talk about revenge, because in the midst of the funeral that I just came through, it was a pastor there at the church. I forgot his name, but I'm telling you right now, man, have you ever got that feeling to where whenever you go to church and you feel like whenever a pastor's like preaching or he's teaching, that message is directly towards you. And I felt like what the pastor was preaching, I received it with open arms. I received it with the utmost respect because I felt like he was directly talking to me. And it triggered me to talk about this topic when I'm dealing with revenge. And it's funny because like I'm guilty of it, you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had many a grudges to where I felt like if someone did me wrong, and if I feel like I can get the upper hand on them by doing something in the spite of revenge, I'm gonna do it. I'm guilty of it. I know I'm not the only person, but I gotta say this though. Like, what are you looking to gain out of committing revenge on someone who did you wrong? Like, it doesn't make you look any better. It actually makes you look worse than what the person did to you. So for people out there that may be thinking about anything like far as these revenge tendencies, just stop and think a little bit. Think about what you're about to do, because for one, it's going to come back and haunt you, regardless how you look at it, because every dog has their day, but we're all being judged and we're all being watched by one particular power, and we all know who that is. So the topic that like I said, I felt like it was an interesting topic because I felt like the sermon that he was preaching, it really inserted me into what I need to change as a person within myself. Again, like I said, I've been having issues and stuff like that as far as being spiteful, being downright evil. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, yo, if I feel like someone did me dirty back then, even to the present, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, even to the present, I feel like someone did me dirty. I was going to have that same tendency, like, you know what? I'm gonna get that person back, because for one, I don't lay down easy. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people think that when you take the high road, you've been a chump or you've been a sucker or you've been a punk. Nah, it's not even that. You're being the better person. You're being the bigger man or woman to take the initiative to drive yourself away from so much negativity that drew you in that in the first place. I think that most people, when they come down to revenge, a lot of people feel like revenge is the best antidote to all their problems. And I'm going to give you a news flash, people. It's not. The fact of the matter is, like, do anybody, like, really, can we really give the definition of revenge? I'm going to give you the definition of revenge. Revenge is the action of inflicting hurt or harm on someone for an injury or wrong suffering at their hands. Now, when people think about revenge, first thing come to their mind is that they're going to think about like, oh, we get in a fight, I'm going to hurt this person. Yo, you could show some type of way in revenge with words. Words cut deep just as well as a knife. You know what I'm saying? So if you're thinking that, the result in violence with your hands or a gun is the best option or the only option in revenge, nah, it's not really. Because like I said to you guys earlier, you could spit out so much words out your mouth that will cut somebody so deep that they will feel like it's worse than you punching them in the face or even shooting them or stabbing them. So we need to get into that mindset to where what is the purpose of revenge and why do people institute revenge so that they can feel like it's justified for what they do in the midst of somebody doing some wrong to them. It's crazy that we live in a world like that, but that's a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people deal with that, including myself. I'm guilty. That really institute the fact that if I get somebody back, then I got the upper hand on them. But it's means around that, it's ways around that. But ultimately, you have to be able to have a calm head, and ultimately, you have to have the pride in one to be able to walk away from a situation before you create a potential problem. Some things that people deal with when it comes to revenge is like people tend to believe that retribution of some kind effectively releases the tension and anger. Remember when I said that some people get off of being when they being angry when it suffers through revenge, but when they take out that revenge or when they take out their anger on the person to get back at them, they feel like that's releasing tension and anger off them. Someone feels toward the transgressor and his actions, and that payback, yes, payback helps to ease negative emotion. This is what people do when they feel like they need to institute that action of revenge. So if you feel like you have to do all this just to get your stress off or get that anger off, there's other ways you could do that. Like I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have a bad temper. Yes, I'm guilty of it. Yes, I'll be a man enough to admit it. I have a bad temper, but I came to evolve around like to where, you know what? If I don't put myself in certain situations, I'm not going to be able to display those negative tendencies that I try to hide from within. So I really want to get people to understand who I really am and not the monster I could potentially be. You know what I'm saying? That's not saying that I'm crazy. Like I'm human, just like everyone else. We all have that side of us to where if you bring it out, it's going to create something that no one ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? Like I could use the military, for example. That probably triggered me to the point where I felt like I was in a cage. But at the same time, I knew that once I got out of the military, I was not going to be the same as when I got into the military or before I got into the military. It was something totally different. So now when you display those same enraged tendencies, when you feel like you have to seek revenge out on someone or something, you got to be able to control that because that's something, that's a chain reaction that you don't want to start. You don't want to start the fact that if someone is used to seeing you one type of way, and all of a sudden you display these tendencies to show that you can create this monster into yourself and create something that people are going to be like in awe about. Control it. You can control all your actions. You can control all your decisions only if you just had a cooler head and don't seek what other people say as to where I'm saying like if someone came to you that's negative and tried to hype you up to where you need to do some wrongdoing just to get, justification on something that you can clearly walk away and live to see another day. A lot of people can't say that because there was actions that they helped build up, created something that they're not. And their actions created them to the point to where they're no longer here to even talk about it. You have to be able to think about your actions before you react. Reaction causes a reaction. But when you think about what you do, it calls solution. Plain and simple. I'm guilty of it. It's been many times when I got in situations to where I felt like I needed to get somebody back. But when I thought about it, it meant the fact that when I pulled back, I was doing the right thing. And people can label me all they want. They can say, Mike, you soft, you a punk. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, I'm living to see another day. At the end of the day, I have my freedom. And then on top of that, I'm a family man. So guess who may look at my same tendencies and try to idolize the same things I do to other people? You guessed it, my kids. And I have men. I have little soldiers. I have little soldiers that look up to me and idolize everything they see what their dad do, whether it's good or bad, because that's what they see in their everyday life. So when I try to implement good things in them. I want them to see that daddy can control his anger or daddy can control his actions and not react to a way to where it will put daddy in a situation. That's thinking about your kids. That's thinking about you first, but that's also thinking about the people up under you. And that's what we need to do as men and women in this society today. Another thing, you know what? Some people just feel like first it could very well be because they're miserable with themselves. Like people really think that, if you could justify the fact that if I shot someone because they did something to me or some of my loved ones, if I shot them, you know what I'm saying? Like I merely just did a justice for not only my family that it affected, but I did an injustice, not an injustice, but I did a justice for myself. You can't think like that, people. You cannot think like that. There are those, and there are people who are secretly jealous, even if not the ability wise, sometimes simply courage wise. They try to knock others who are happy and or have huge dreams down. What that means is that's the true definition of a bona fide hater. That's a true definition of a bona fide hater. And some people will see that you're doing good, and some people will feel like, you know what? They're doing good, but they're looking down on me. No, it's not always like that. I've been in a situation, even recently, where I felt like people were looking like I was better than someone. I never come across as being better than anybody. I'm equal to every man and woman that I come into contact to. Now, is there things that I did in my past that I condone? Oh, most definitely. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm only human. But at the same time, do I carry grudges? Never that. Do I sit there and I look at the person when I see him after 10, 15 years and still look at him like, you know what? You ain't nothing. You really think you did it? Never that. I don't do stuff like that because for one, it gets me no satisfaction to feel like I got to look down on someone to be above them. I can't strive on that. And I see that every damn day, man. I see that all the time. People want to look down on someone just for their stature, their living situation, employment status, whatever. People tend to look down on people because they feel like what? You feel like you want to get the upper hand. You feel like you want to be on top. You feel like you want to be the center of attention. It won't get you nowhere, but guess what? It will get you though. For you to sit there and talk down on somebody and make them feel this big, that's where that chain reaction start coming from. If it's a continuous thing, that's where that chain reaction starts coming into play when it's dealing with revenge, when people want to feel like they want to get back at you. Now, are people out there that's watching the show, are you thinking to the fact that, well, Mike, well, damn, if somebody was doing you like that, do you feel like you need to get revenge back on them? Newsflash, I don't have to. Because I told you before, I'm in a whole different era in life. I'm in a whole different era in life to where I see things from a different perspective, and I definitely see over that negativity of horizon. I can look over what people can say, what they think, what they look like, what they even visualize of what I am, because it means absolutely nothing to me. I sit here and I go through this stuff. Like I said, I even go through it with my job, but like I said, I went through it recently. And at the same time, I handle it the way I needed to handle it, because at the end of the day, people, like I told you earlier, you need to handle things in a better perspective. You need to handle things to the point to where, you know what? Let me take the initiative and let me be the one that's going to be the bigger and better person. That's not saying just because I make a lot of money, or not just saying I drive a nice car, that I should look down on you again. No. But when it comes to a situation to where a person feels like they have to justify them having ill will towards you, or even want to seek out revenge to try to even hurt you, those people are the ones you need to cut that umbilical cord from. You need to cut that line off, because that's a line of negativity. So for some people that sit there and really get off on being resentful and showing those tendencies as being like a vigilante for revenge, stop that. You have to stop that. Find your own identity before you create a problem for someone else. Yeah, I mean, I've done things to where people lash out on me. I've done things, I've lied to people. I've done a lot of bad things in my life. And like I said to you guys earlier in the show, I feel like I had a conviction, even with my friend losing his life. I felt like the message was for me because I wanted to change myself. And I hope that message received everyone that was in that church, because it needed to. But in all actuality, I took heart to the message because I felt like I was on a Budweiser hot seat, because I felt like he was talking to me and giving me information to where, you know what, be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be real with yourself. Be real with the people you involve yourself with. Know who are the positive people. Deal with the negative people, but deal with them from afar. Some of the people I even feel like I have to deal with from afar are family members. Some of them are close friends. Some are people that I actually thought in my heart that I can actually trust. I trust it. I have a genuine heart. I have a huge heart for anyone. But like I said, some things that you do in your past catches up with you. And some things you do in your past can follow you for your lifetime. But for the people that really want to hold certain bars and certain restrictions against you because they can't get over what you did in the past, get over it. You don't have to display any type of tendencies toward me or anyone else that may be watching. You don't have to display those type of tendencies because you cannot let go of the grudge. The grudge is going to continue holding you down. The grudge is going to continue to fester in your life. And then it's gonna completely, if you can't talk about it and if you don't want to come to a solution, then you're part of the problem. If someone's willing to talk to you about something that someone did you wrong about, and you completely shut their door on that, and you completely carry them or you completely disrespect them, what the hell are you what are you looking to gain? You're not going to gain anything but continuous hate and hatred toward that person. And then if something were to happen to them in the midst of everything that's transpiring in the world right now, you cannot tell me right now that you wouldn't feel guilty. I can tell you right now, and I'm not going to put no names out there, if there was one person right now that I knew that hated my guts to this day, if something were to happen to her right now, you know what I would do? I would do the same thing that I did for my friend Travis. Even though we didn't have no issues whatsoever, I love him like a brother. But with this particular person, I would drive all the way from Virginia to the destination where she's at, and I would sit right there and I would cry my heart out. Not crying my heart out because I feel guilty for what I've done. I would cry my heart out because, for one, I did the right thing and I felt like I'm at peace. So those are tears of not necessarily remorse and not necessarily for regret, because I don't regret trying to be the better person. No. I don't regret that at all. I regret the fact that that person couldn't change their ways and tell me before they left this earth. So if this message is for you, I'm not sitting there saying that, you know what, take this message and live from it and try to change yourself. I'm not trying to tell you to change anything about yourself. But ultimately, when you leave, it's too late for you to say, I'm sorry. When you leave this earth, it's too late for you to say, I apologize. Just like my man Travis, a lot of people love him dearly. I feel like I gave him his flowers when he was living. And for the person that feels that animosity and that hate toward me, I want you to feel that way in the midst of us living on this world right now, because life is short and life is precious. But again, you're going to be judged on your own actions. And if you're going to either heaven or hell, but even if you go to hell, you're not going to have no remorse because you're going to suffer anyway. But if you're expecting to go to heaven and you still think you have that hate in your heart, now's the time to correct it. I corrected mine. Definitely. I definitely corrected mine. And I made sure that I displayed those sentences while you were living. Because when you're dead and gone, I'm going to hurt. I'm going to grieve. But I'm not going to feel no remorse whatsoever. So for that person, I hope you take this message and I hope you take it with the utmost positivity, because that's all I'm giving. Because I am a positive person right now, whether you believe it or not. But back to the whole topic with the reason why people act like revenge is the most important thing to get back at a person. Some people's lives are consumed with unhappiness, negativity, depression, deprivation, fears, addiction, etc. And it is hard to rejoice in the happiness of others who seem they are enjoying life. Facts. Straight up facts. This is probably like the most important story that I have up here. This is the most important sentence that I have when it's dealing with revenge, that we know that some people who institute revenge and love the fact that revenge is the first thing that comes to their mind, this one particular sentence speaks for itself. I'm going to read it again. Some people's lives are consumed with unhappiness, negativity, depression, deprivation, fears, addictions, etc. And it is hard to rejoice in the happiness of others who seem they are enjoying life. So basically, I'm going to give you this in a nutshell. If you ain't happy with your life, you're not going to be happy for anybody else. Even though you see that they're living their life to the fullest, you're not going to be happy because you want what you can't have. You want what other people are enjoying that you are not receiving. You are miserable, and misery loves company. It festers in your mind. It festers in your heart. And then when you feel like someone is trying to tell you things that you may want to incorporate in your negative life, you want to shut them down. Like they don't know what they're talking about. Like they don't know nothing about your life. We don't want to know nothing about your life because your life is negative. How can you tell a person that's living a positive lifestyle on how they correct their stuff when you live in mad foul? You live in foul for a reason because no one in their right mind wants to be a part of a person that's negative. No one wants to be a part of someone who feels like revenge is the best answer to everything. No one wants to be a part of a cancer. So if you feel like you're a cancer and you feel like people want to gravitate to that cancer, by all means, see how many people will follow you. Because when you go off that cliff, let's see how many people were willing to follow you when they see you go down that pit of misery. So thinking about it again, some people feel like, hey, you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. And like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm a person that's going to sit there and dictate what people do, because people get mad regardless if you try to tell them something positive or if you try to tell them the negative direction that they're going. People get mad about that. I mean, we're all adults. I can take constructive criticism to a certain degree, only when it's not disrespectful. Only when it's not disrespectful. I will receive anything that someone gives me only if you bring it from the heart and not try to tag me or stab me in my back. If you don't know what that means, you literally take the time out and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing not only for myself, but am I doing the right thing for the people that are surrounding me, the people that are close to me? Matter of fact, not even for yourself. The first person you should be doing right for is God. When you do right for God, everything else falls in place, just like a domino effect. Think about that for a minute. Think about if I had so much animosity and so much resentment to the point to where it made me want to lash out on somebody and do something callous and deceitful and hateful. Think about if that was God telling you that. God is not going to tell you anything like that. God is going to lead you in a direction to where he feel like you should be prosperous, and you should be prosperous for other people, especially people that look up to you. I look up to a lot of people that comes in my life. A lot of people bring positive influence in my life. A lot of people bring a lot of joy into my life. And sometimes I feel like why am I receiving all this? Because I'm doing the right thing. Was I a person that didn't do the right thing in past experiences? Oh, most definitely. Your boy was never a saint. I was never a saint. On this side, it was the devil. On this side was the angel. My early years, I was listening to the one on this side. Yeah, he was getting all in my head, literally. Excuse me. But back to the point I'm saying, like when people really think revenge is the most important things in their life, like people, it's really not. It's not something that's going to get you off. I'll put it to you like this. If you really think revenge is the best answer for everything, when you do something in the spite of revenge, think about it like this. You're already hurting from what someone did to you. So when you go and institute your act of revenge onto that person that hurt you, not only are you hurting the person that you're taking that out on, you're hurting their family. Not only are you hurting them, but you also hurting yourself. Because the actions that you do leads to a reflection and the consequences of what your actions require. If you're going to think that when you take something out on somebody and you institute this whole rage of revenge, there are consequences that you'll have to deal with. And I'm not just talking about jail time. I'm not talking about, people looking at you in a different light. There's one ultimate sacrifice that you may come into play with when you institute your revenge, and that's ultimately death. Some people implemented that whole act of revenge as if, you know what? I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna die trying just because I want to make this person or their family or this, that, and the third suffer. And then it backfires, and then you are the one that's actually suffering, and you can't do nothing about it. Why is that? Because you can't come back. You can't come back because you led off so much anger, you led off so much frustration, you led off the fear, you led off anything that was just consuming you with the act of revenge, vengeance, hatred. For what? Just to show face? Just to show that you a tough person? Just to show that you wanted to flex? You can do all that. You can do all that. You can flex without getting revenge. You can get your point across without displaying revenge. You could do so many things in your life that will be better than the first option that you have, but yet you let your actions and you let your anger and you let your frustration completely take over until you make that decision. And then when you think about it, it was the wrong decision in the first place. Revenge doesn't solve anything, people. Revenge only puts you back to where you actually started. And what I mean when I say it puts you back to where it actually started, it puts you back to square one. It's like Groundhog Day. You know what I'm saying? Like you going back thinking that if you do certain things to someone and you feel like, you know what, when I do these things, it's going to really make me feel like I'm on top. Or it's going to make you feel like, well, whatever I did, it justifies for what I did because they did it to me. It don't justify anything. The only thing is that it separates you from the fact that I could have did things a lot different. It only separates you from the fact that you cannot go back on what you committed. It only separates you from the fact that you lose a lot when you listen to the wrong things and the wrong people. Visualize what you think about. Visualize what you do in life when people do you wrong. You don't have to do it. You just have to be on a level to where someone can actually guide you or lead you in the direction that you need to go. I'm guilty of it. I've been led astray. I've been talked about. I've been told everything up under the sun that's negative. And what did I do to it? I fed it. I put that gas on that fire, and I kept feeding it to the point to where it made me look like a complete jerk. It made me look like a complete jerk to the point to where I can't say anything that would justify my own actions. Shakisha Singh, wasted energy. That's facts. It's straight up wasted energy on their part. It's wasted energy on their part, and for what? If you got the energy to just be negative, if you got that energy just to be negative, point blank, period, you have the energy to be positive, and you have the energy to give positive advice, and you have the energy to lead in a positive direction. I don't understand why people feel like being negative and being resentful or being hatred is the most important thing to them. Is that your persona? Is that who you really are? Is that what you teach amongst people that's under you? Is that a chain that you're trying to break? Because if it's not a chain that you're trying to break, then it's a generational curse. There's nothing positive about that. You can have something that's generational, but when it's a generational curse, it is detrimental that you stop and you cut that generational tie. You have to. It's detrimental not only for your life, but it's detrimental for the people that you involve. What the haters don't understand is that happiness is a personal pursuit. I'm going to say that again. What the haters don't understand is that happiness is a personal pursuit. I seek happiness every damn day in my life. Every day in my life. I can't strive for anything less than my happiness. I cannot strive for anything less than the happiness of my children. I cannot strive for the happiness of the people that I love. I can't give happiness to someone, or I can't display happiness to someone with revenge and vengeance tendencies in my heart. I can't do it. It is literally impossible. It is like mixing oil and water. They will not go together. And just like I said earlier, if you have that much energy to create hatred and tension and seeing things that if someone did one thing to you, if you're seeing it to the point where you have to go out and commit a revengeful act to feel justified or any type of justification, check yourself in the damn mirror. You're an idiot. Yeah, I said it. You're an idiot to think that revenge is the key to every bad situation, because it's not. Now, one time had I heard in the Bible or even seen the Bible where God constitute revenge as a way of getting back at someone. God institute love. God institute forgiveness. God institute forgetful. I forget everything you did because he did it. Everything that people did, he took it on his back. Every last thing he did, he took it on his back because he felt like, I want to be the better person. I'm going to be the bigger person. And ultimately, everything that we've done in life, he bared it. But he took the high road. No, I'm not saying you need to be like God, but hey, it ain't bad to walk in those footsteps. And for people that have those tendencies, if you do go to church and you still have those same tendencies, read that book even deeper. Read that book and know that you can't live a double life. You can't live one foot in hell and you got your hand reaching up for heaven. Can't do it. So for the people that really think that, and it's a lot of this stuff going on right now. You got, even with this young generation right now, revenge is not the key, people. Revenge is not the key at all. Learn how to be the better person. Learn how to be the better person and learn how to walk away from situations instead of creating problems for a problem that can be easily resolved. That happiness is the choice to close the unhappiness gap of where you are until you can change your circumstances. I'm going to say that again. Happiness is the choice to close the unhappiness gap of where you are until you change your circumstances. If you don't know what that means, read that statement yourself. I only can say 2 words in that thing that could justify that whole sentence. Unhappiness gap. The 3 words that go behind that, change your circumstances. If you're not happy with your situation, change it. Change it because the circumstances that you live by and the consequences and decisions that you make will have that gap even wider and wider to the point to where you're out of line. Or you're just going down that endless pit that I told you earlier about, and there's no way to even get out of it. Revenge is an endless gap. It's an unhappiness gap. Don't institute revenge into your happiness because, like I said, you guys, it's like oil and water. It will not mix. It will cause confusion. It will cause tension. It will cause heartache. It will cause pain. You don't want to mix. You don't want to mix happiness with unhappiness, but you ultimately don't want to mix revenge with being able to communicate and changing your own circumstances. That's straight facts. I can't make this stuff up. This is real stuff. Like, I got a message from Shakisha Singh. There's a saying, let go and let God. Facts. That's powerful. That's very powerful. There's a saying, Let go and let God. A lot of people can't say that right now because why? They took it upon themselves. They took it upon their own actions to feel like I want to be vindicated or I want to justify what I'm about to do. And like I said, some people that carry out what they had to do, which was in the act of revenge, they lose their freedom or ultimately they lose their life. The only thing we feel like we can do with our own happiness is to keep our happiness close, but to try to spread happiness to people who don't have any happiness whatsoever and are content with being unhappy and content with being a person to where, you know what, doing to others as you doing to you. Yeah, that doesn't institute revenge. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to do what people do to you in return. You don't have to. Achieving happiness and maintaining happiness is achievable. Facts. But also, too, the art of revenge doesn't have to be your first option. Being able to talk about it, being able to be able to listen, being able to be a little bit more compassionate to what other people may be going through, that is options that you need to consider instead of really considering the act of revenge. Anger, violence, displaying those tendencies, that's not going to get you nowhere. It'll put you in the grave even quicker. So why even display it or why even entertain it? That's not how we roll. We don't roll like that, people. We do not roll like that at all. Observing happiness in another person's life should be a motivation, inspiration to strive for your own happiness. Take what you have and build from there. Build from there. This statement is powerful. Anybody that has any type of negativity in their life, when you see someone that's a positive role model, you see someone that's inspirational or motivational person that can give you the guidance to where you can be in that same thing, you need to build on that. You need to build on that instead of tearing your own house down. If you can't see that when you come out and you reach out and you ask for guidance, and when you feel like you need someone to give you that word of inspiration, when you feel like you have that in place, your house is being built. Your house is being built. That's a creation. But it starts with you. It starts with you building from within. It starts with you building that whole wall to where you can keep the negativity that's outside from coming inside your domain. Think about what I'm saying. It's not something that's not obtainable. You can easily get this, people. It's easy. It's in the reach of your own fingertips. But you have to seek it and stop seeking something that's not going to be able to help you grow or help you build what you're trying to create. And what you're trying to create is a positive household, and you're trying to create something of a fortress that any type of negativity is hard to penetrate. Take that time and build your house and leave the outside, which is the negativity, out in the world. The world can't come into your house and make it a better place. The world will come into your house and divide your house. And the things, when I say the world, I'm talking about revenge, I'm talking about envy, I'm talking about anger, I'm talking about frustration, I'm talking about everything up under the sun that has nothing to do with positivity. Those 4 words I just gave to you guys right now have nothing to do with positivity whatsoever. So why would you want to incorporate that? Why would you want to allow that to come in something that's already been established? It's going to spread and fester only if you allow it to happen. And we're not here to do that. We're here to spread positive vibes and live our lives in a positive direction. Some people need to take this for what it is, but definitely don't take it for granted. I'm gonna take a quick break right quick. I have to use the bathroom right quick, but I'm gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna let you guys check out my sponsors. I have a sponsor right quick. I'm gonna let you guys show her. Real important lady, Miss Alicia Bryant. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm back. I had to go get some paper towels and stuff. I spilled some of my drink, so I'm back. Yes. Hey, shout out to you, Alicia, for the Mary Kay. Make sure you men and women check her out. Very good friend of mine. Make sure you check her out, support her, give her a just due. But back to what I was saying, guys. Like I said, happiness is everything for me. Happiness is everything where I want to be in life, and I hope happiness is what a lot of people will want to incorporate not only within themselves but into their family. But revenge is not the answer whatsoever. It's not the answer. It's not the thing that we need to incorporate in our families. It's not the thing that we need to incorporate in our everyday lives. We need to be better. We need to care about what other people, we need to care about other people. But most importantly, we need to care about and figure out why people feel like a revenge is the best thing when you're dealing with a situation that can easily be avoided. We need to deal with that. When you compare the happy person's perceived situation to your own lacking situation, you will not be happy, but walk away disappointed, envious, and perhaps hating others. That's powerful. That's deep. That's deep. Because they wish they had the same, they are really angry that themselves do not own their own personal happiness. So that goes back to what I was saying to you guys too. When you feel like someone's trying to talk to you and you feel like they're real negative, or they feel like they trying to tell you how to live your life when it's already your life is already established, but you looking at their lives as to where your life is trouble. This is the analogy that I want you to think about. Because they wish they had the same as you, they are really angry that themselves do not own the other person's happiness. Yeah, that sounds like a form of hate. That sounds like a form of hate. That sounds like someone who are content with where they live in. And like the whole act of revenge, some people are content on being in their mindset, they are content about displaying those acts of revenge amongst other people because they're not happy. They're not happy. And like I said, misery always loves company. So to make someone else's life miserable, they feel like it's justified for them to create any type of act in the act of revenge to get back at someone. And it doesn't justify anything. It just creates more turmoil, but most importantly, it creates more pain and suffering for everybody that's involved. Hate is a form of envy. I can say the same thing about revenge. Revenge is a form of envy. You feel like someone got the best of you. You feel like someone has belittled you. Maybe you are envy of the fact that they are actually telling the truth. Maybe you are envy the fact that they pulled your card, or maybe that you are envy and mad because the truth actually does hurt. It wouldn't hurt if you only change your ways. I see, yo. I had to do that though. I had to put that commercial in there, Keisha. But people actually could change their ways, man. Like you could actually change your perception on how you are only when you give the energy that is directed to you positive vibes. Always try to obtain those positive vibes and always try to attain the positive words that people can speak upon you before you take something that actually can create tension and hate amongst other people. Like you said, hate is a form of envy. Nah, revenge is a form of envy. Because like I said earlier, people are envy of you, you know what I'm saying? Not only because they may struck a nerve, but people feel like hate is a form of envy only because you give that energy, and you give that vibe, that tension or that whole aura that whatever I feel like is justified for me to do to someone, I have to do it because maybe I felt like they deserve it. That is a form of envy to me, though. Nobody deserves to feel any type of pain whatsoever. And if you think that is justified that you make someone else's life, if you make someone else or someone else's family difficult or make them suffer because of your own actions, you a sad individual. I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you at all. Hey, y'all know that. Y'all know that expression when you was a kid. Hey, if you're happy and you know it, what do? You clap your damn hands. You clap your hands. Go ahead, three stacks. You clap your hands. I know I'm happy, and I definitely know it. I'm happy with the direction that I changed from where I was onto the direction that I am today. And like I said, it came through with a bunch of people that really believe in me and saw so much that I have from within. And it made me want to change who I actually was for the people that didn't mean me no good in the first place. Because like I said before, I had those tendencies to where if someone wronged me, I feel like I had to get back. But it wasn't giving me no type of satisfaction. It was only making me feel like I'm being less of a man and less of a man to the point of where I don't want to listen and actually sit down and try to conquer a solution. I didn't want to hear all that. I didn't want to hear all of it because I felt like it was unnecessary. And I felt like, from people putting stuff in my ear to where they feel like, you know what, go ahead and get them back for what they did to you. I was thinking like that. I really was consumed with that cancer of a word because I really didn't think that it was anything possible for me to actually see that it's way better to be the better person on the other side. And that came with age. That came with age. That came with, reading. That came with being around a better group of people. But it took time. So only for the people that's watching this show, only if you feel like, and you know what? It's not even for the people that may be going through those same tendencies right now. This is for everybody. If you feel like you have that in your heart, release that off you. Release that shackle that's holding you from having a heart instead of you being cold-hearted. Release that animosity that you have for someone and try to have a solution so you could be better or be friends. No one wants to create enemies, but when you listen to the wrong things, it intensifies a situation to the point to where it will make you do something that you're really going to regret in life. And once you complete what you was set out to do, which was your revengeful tendencies, it's too late to even go back because the act has already been created and you put it in plan. You put it to work because you wasn't listening to the conscious on this side. You listen to the conscious on this side. You have to have better judgment and you have to have better understanding on what it means to be the bigger and better person. Take what it's worth. Everything in this life is given to us on a silver platter. We have to take what's good and separate ourselves from the bad. It's very encouraging. It's very encouraging. It got me out of my situation, but it made me understand what I really need to do as a man. But ultimately, it made me realize that actions speak louder than words. But most importantly, when you put things into action, think first before you react to a situation. Words are powerful. Words are deep. Words can take you a long way, whether you go the right way or the wrong way. Your only your only place in life is to be a product of something positive. Never nothing negative. Never let your mind get consumed to the point to where you feel like revenge is your best option in following and figuring out a dangerous or of a tragic situation. It could easily be avoided only if you just open your mouth and talk with sense. Work together. Two minds are better than one. Help people understand why you're angry. Help people understand why you feel the way you feel. Help people understand that this was built up in me so much to the point to where I felt like it was justified for me to do what I would set out to do, which was commit an act of revenge. Life is short, but life is most definitely precious. It's precious because a lot of people take life for granted. A lot of people take this air that we breathe as, oh well, I appreciate this air that I breathe, and I appreciate being able to talk about certain things that I could alleviate a situation before it be something that can get out of hand. I came a mighty long way. I realized that the younger Mike was a lost Mike, and the older Mike is a wiser Mike. Yeah, some people be like, man, you could have been doing that when you was younger. Yeah, you're right. You was right. You was definitely right. But now that I'm here, I see things in a whole different light, and I see things for what it truly is worth. And I really appreciate for the people that got me out of the situation that I was in and made me appreciate the life that I'm giving now. Not only for myself, but for my kids, for my loved ones, for the people that I truly care about and love. This is what I display. I displayed those tendencies because, like I said, I was led to a point to where I thought revenge may have been the only answer to my problems. But in growing up, in my walk, in my growth, I actually gave back. I actually gave myself to make myself a reincarnation of who I really need to be. You could do the same thing. Take that time and learn what you really need to learn and stop being led to believe something that's a facade. The game of life is not a game that you can always win, but you got to know how to play it. It's hard, but it's only hard when you're lost. When you feel like you have the opportunity to find the key and you feel like you have the opportunity to be successful and seek whatever you're looking for that's going to make you happy, you'll get out of that endless maze because the tools are there. You just got to know how to use them. That's basically what I feel like. We all live in this earth together. We all should love each other. We all should just take. I know it's impossible. I know you probably looking at me like, man, you crazy. It's the world we living in is terrible. Yeah, it's terrible because people don't know when to change, and people don't know when to recognize and realize when a problem is a problem. What can you do to solve that problem, and what can you do to better the situation? That's a deep topic, man. That's real deep. It's a deep topic, and I'm glad that I shared it with you guys. Like I said, I shared some things with you guys about my own personal walk, my own personal belief. I don't mind doing that. It's only to give you enlightened that where if I could change, you could change. It's not hard. It's what we need to do within ourselves to make this place a better place for you, your kids, your family, your wife, your husband, whomever. Make it a better place for people to live in a world to where, we don't need violence to solve everything. We don't need for people to be resentful. We don't need people to be displaying tendencies of revenge to get, validation. We don't need it. Be the better person. But most importantly, be the one that actually took the first step in being successful and being a product of your environment in a positive way, not negative. So, with that being said, I would like to close out on heavy hitters, and again, like to share. I like to do a couple of shout outs for one. I like to shout out to the family, the Grady family. I like to shout out to the class of '96. We represented. We sent our friend off well. We took care of him. We gave him his flowers while he was here, and we sent him off the way that he needed to be sent off. So shout out to the whole class of '96. I don't want to go down all the names, man. Y'all know who you are. We had a great time over the weekend, but we was rejoicing. We was actually celebrating a life. We wasn't losing a life. We was celebrating a life. And now he is our guardian angel to watch over us. So Travis, Miss Cardell, like I said, we love you. We're gonna miss you most definitely in the physical, but we know that you're here spiritually, and we know that you have our best interests at heart. And like I said, shout out to the whole Grady family. Shout out to everybody that was in attendance. Shout out to all the people that supported Travis in his peaceful journey. And it was tough, man. It was tough, man. That was my man. That was a friend of mine that I had a lot of wars with, man. Had a lot of situations with him, man. Like we joked all the time. I'm truly gonna miss you, boy. I'm gonna miss you from the utmost. I know some of the stories that we had, some of the things that we shared, man. It was epic. It was funny. Um, it was one situation. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there before I close out. It was one situation where I remember he had these jeans and they were Wrangler jeans. And if you went to school, I went to school, if you had Wrangler jeans, man, you was going to get clowned. But it was crisp. It was black, crisp Wrangler jeans. Like, I remember my man Travis used to wear a long shirt. It had to be like a double XL. But he wore this long shirt just to cover up the W that's on the back pocket of the jeans so nobody wouldn't know. And guess what? I went right back. And Christy Hill, yes, shout out to you too, Christy, because you put me on blast when you told me this. But she told everybody, Mike, you went right back the next week and you bought a pair of jeans, the same Wrangler jeans. You know what I told her? I said, you damn right I did. Because those jeans was crisply black. And nobody wouldn't have thought if I had a long shirt on, would have thought it was Wranglers until they saw the back pocket and saw that W on the back. So, boy, you had me going, man. You had me laughing damn near every day when we was in school. Like, we used to joke and stuff all the time on Facebook, man. But I'm going to go ahead and close out because I went on your page, Travis, and I saw one picture where you had me up there. Man, when I saw that picture, man, you had me right there, bro. You got me on that. That's a WTF moment right there, Travis. Yo, I saw that picture. I was like, yo, he really fried me on that one. But I know you laughing right now, boy. And like I said, I'm going to miss you, the whole class. The family's going to miss you. Also, I want to do a shout out to my man, Rodney Red Grant. Yo, November 8th next year is going to be major for DC. So we need to go get my man, Rodney Red Grant. If you're living in DC, get this man out in that seat in Washington, D.C. It's time for a change. And just to let people know about my man, Rodney Red Grant, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a video on him for everybody that's in D.C. I want y'all to check out this video, but for anybody, even if you're not in D.C., support this man. This man is good for Chocolate City. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys again to Rodney Red Grant, Team Red. Yes, sir. I'm supporting him. I'm rocking with Red. Team Red. Yes. Get that man in DC for Chocolate City to make the city better. Because like I said, time has changed. We don't want another 6 years of the same problem. Not gonna say no names because I don't want to make it seem like I'm smearing the actual person that I'm talking about. But time is coming. Change is coming. And change is not bad. Change can actually be good. So on that note, man, shout out to Red Grant. Shout out to the whole class 96. Shout out to everybody that's watching the show. I thank you. And your boy's back, man. Heavy Hitters is coming back every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for different topics. Yes, like I said, I love to talk about the stuff people don't want to talk about. Hopefully Facebook don't flag me, but they can't flag me on this because this is only my opinion. So without that being said, man, I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in to Heavy Hitters. And like I said, I will see you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode of Heavy Hitters. Y'all be safe. I love you. Be easy. Take care. See you next week.